I mean, you talk about what it's like in London, you're there. I don't know anyone who hasn't been to London in the last couple of years and not come back and said, you know, the cost of living is completely out of control. There's crime, you know, it's not what it used to be, is essentially the cry that I hear. I don't know that Khan seems to realise that, or at the very least, he just doesn't want to realise it.
Well, it was interesting in his remarks yesterday, Caleb, because he hit back at Donald Trump and said, well, there's an awful lot of Americans coming to live in London. And there are a lot of people living in London that are not from London. They are not British, myself included. But there's no doubt the city has its issues. It's a magnificent city. There's so much to offer here. But, you know, when people come and visit, one of the first things I'm telling them is watch your bags, watch your possessions. The stealing and the theft here is astronomical. And as I said, a lot of around the city, it's very dirty and grubby. There are sadly issues here in London that the London mayor doesn't seem to be on top of. And instead, he's having this tit for tat with Donald Trump, which I don't think, mind you, is doing London or the UK any good to have the US president critical and then Sadiq Khan hitting back either.
Yeah, indeed, and you know, it's got other social issues as well. It's got a Muslim population that's double the average of the United Kingdom, so it has cultural things it has to deal with too. Meanwhile, you've got the latest polling which shows Nigel Farage pulling level with Sir Keir Starmer on who would make the best PM, and I mean it's a dramatic turnaround from the commanding lead that Labor, of course, won at a general election somewhat 14, 15 months ago. Reform has been ahead in front in every published poll in the UK since May. I mean, it is extraordinary what he's been able to do in a short period of time.
Well, it really is, Caleb, and it's amazing to be here on the ground to watch this up and coming party really cut through here in the UK. Now, just a couple of months ago, when Britons were asked which Prime Minister do they think would make a better PM or which leader, it was Starmer at 33% and Farage at 25%. Now, this poll was done again just a few days ago, and they are neck and neck at 30%. Now, it's very interesting here because in the British press, Nigel Farage, there's virtually a week that does not go by where he is not on the front pages of the news talking about his policies, talking about what they are going to do if they get into office. The talk around the Tories and the Conservatives, Caleb, they're almost not in the equation now. Labor are awfully concerned about reform and the impact they are having here in the UK.
Indeed, and you know, it's because he's honest and he's open and he's saying what he thinks, which happens to be what a lot of people in Britain think. Finally, they're getting someone who says it. It's no surprise they would get behind him.
Well, it's remarkable because, as you said, Labor won the election last July in a thumping majority. Now, we don't have another election here until 2029. However, the concern within the Labor ranks of Nigel Farage, it's so obvious because Keir Starmer talks about him all the time. The Lib Dems leader talked about him 30 times in his speech at their conference this week. Kemi Badenoch hits out on him on Twitter. Really, they're giving him so much oxygen and they're just amplifying his profile here. He is the one that they are all worried about because he's cutting through with his anti-migration stance and some of his tough policies here that the other parties are not saying that they will enforce, or they're certainly not doing it. And Labor has failed here in trying to curb the arrival of illegal migrants here in the UK.
Indeed, and Trump used exactly the same playbook in terms of publicity. Get everyone else to talk about you. You don't have to buy advertising. It is thoroughly effective. Sophie, great to see you. Thank you for joining me.